University, so thank you for hosting us. In the European Space Agency, I work with the Department of Telecommunications, so we work with satellite telecommunications. And I'm particularly pleased to be here today in the Baltic countries because we would like very much to reach out to the Baltic countries and ESA to work together with Baltic countries. In fact, Estonia is already a full member state of the European Space Agency, and Latvia and Lithuania are what we call cooperating states, which means that we can do business together. The main objective of the European Space Agency is to promote the industry competitiveness in Europe, make sure that Europe is at the vanguard of satellite telecommunications and is able to offer solutions which are competitive globally. So in this respect, we very much welcome the cooperation and participation of Baltic countries working together with the European Space Agency. During my talk today, I would like mainly to touch upon 4 main points. The first point is about 5G. What is 5G? What is this 5th generation of mobile communication? And I will make an argument that 5G is not just the next generation coming after 4G, it's much more than that. In fact, it's a revolution in the way telecommunications, both terrestrially and from satellite, are provided. And it's not just one standard, one network, but it's a multiple networks currently in a way of being standardized. The second point is that satellite telecommunications can and should and will complement 5G terrestrial technology, given the inherent capabilities of satellite to provide the main attributes of 5G telecommunication. The third point I want to make, of course, is about cybersecurity and satellite, picking up from the previous speaker, showing that satellite is already well equipped to develop a number of cybersecure solutions, specifically in the 5G arena. And finally, the fourth point I want to make is explain what ESA can do and how ESA can help in make sure that 5G in general becomes a success in Europe and globally, and that satellite is an important part of this 5G success. So what is 5G? And as I mentioned before, it's not just the next generation coming after 4G, but it's much more than that. Somebody defines as everything and everywhere in telecommunication. It's the next big wave of telecommunications, not just the next generation. And it's just a network on network serving. 5G can be defined at a number of different levels. You heard throughout the conference today, you've seen some video this morning. It's defined as a network on networks, as a number of different technology, but mainly to deliver solutions in a lot of different vertical markets, which have been mentioned before. It's the next generation cellular system. And you've seen this figure, a version of this figure before from the previous speaker. Satellite already does deliver a lot of solutions in the majority of the vertical markets which will be addressed by 5G. Both inherently and primarily, like in remote and isolated areas, like, for example, in rural areas, and also for maritime and aeronautical telecommunications, but also in urban area. Last night, here in the fantastic hotel facility here, I was watching the Chelsea-Rome Champions League match, and that was being delivered by Viasat. Viasat, of course, is one major global satellite operator, one of the many operators we work together at the European Space Agency. So satellite is already dominant and preeminently dominant, not only here in the Baltics, but everywhere globally for delivering solution and high-definition TV and connectivity to cities as well. Noble triangle. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking with the previous speaker, Martin, about satellite and 5G and the cybersecurity conference. And we made an analogy, which now I'm going to apply literally. And we talked about a very good triangle, where cybersecurity, of course, is one of the vertices of the triangle. Satellite is another of the vertices, and how satellite can offer cybersecure solution. And all of that is really wrapped up by the 5G set of new products and services and solutions which 5G will deliver. So what I'm going to do in the next couple of slides is really explore the 3 vertices of this triangle, and hopefully we'll form a picture of how this becomes a noble virtuous circle in which satellite is a very, very important part of it. So let's look at the first vertex of the triangle, which of course is Phi G. What is Phi G? As we mentioned before, Phi G will create an ecosystem for all kinds of vertical markets, whether it's factories of the future, whether it's an automotive market, whether it's IoT, autonomous driving, or e-health. And there are lots of different classifications of the vertical markets, but effectively cover a wide, broad range of markets and applications. Sorry, the animation indeed is different on the screen than on the projector, so I'm trying to keep up with the projector animation. So Phi G in itself can be visualized as a triangle. And in fact, it's a triangle which vertices represent the three main attributes of Phi G. The first vertex is what is called EMBB, or Enhanced Mobile Broadband. So Phi G promises to deliver high throughput terrestrially, which is significantly higher, order of magnitude higher, than the current 3G and 4G solution. So throughput and capacity is one of the three vertices of the Phi G triangle. The other vertex of the triangle is what something called URLLC, ultra reliable low latency communications. So 5G promises to deliver very, very reliable communications in a very, very low latency fashion. So this is all to do about public safety services as well as applications which require very low latency, like e-medicine, for example, or e-health. And the third vertex of the triangle is what something called MMTC, or massive machine type communications. This is to do with the Internet of Things and the capability of 5G to offer solution in area densely populated by thousands of sensors, thousands of machines. So this is the machine-to-machine communication, which requires not necessarily very low latency, not necessarily very high throughput, but requires the network to be scalable enough to cope with a large number of devices concentrated in specific areas. So 5G in itself is a triangle. I would like now to explore the satellite component of this, and of course, this is another triangle. The vertices of the satellite triangle are the services where satellite is best suited to deliver. Satellite is currently present in all the 5G vertical markets, but talking with a number of operators and talking with a number of satellite service providers, the three main vertical markets which are currently and in the future better addressed by satellite is first and foremost public safety. Satellite is a very reliable way of delivering telecommunications in areas where there is little terrestrial infrastructure, or indeed where the infrastructure for some reason it comes to be missed. The second vertex is, of course, the media and entertainment, and for example, the TV and football matches is one example of it. And third, and perhaps the biggest set of markets addressed by satellite is what's called the transport vertical markets. Transport contains a large number of different markets, sometimes classified as maritime market, aviation market, and land mobile market. And within these markets, there are a lot of other type of classification. For example, in aviation, we have civil aviation, business aviation, helicopter, UAVs, RPAS, and so on and so on. And the maritime and land, they're equally diversified in a number of very, very specialized markets, all of which are addressed by satellite in this element of the triangle. So if you stay with me so far, and now we're going to explore the third vertex, which is the cybersecurity aspect. And of course, that's another triangle. The three vertices of this cybersecurity, especially to do with satellite, are security. Satellite can deliver very, very secure communication, which was one of the major requirements of the 5G set of services. Resiliency. Satellite is by definition very resilient and independent from terrestrial network. You can reach point to point, two different users anywhere in the globe without touching the ground and only relying on satellites. All right. We had a technical issue. Houston, we have a problem. Security problem, security breach. We have been hacked.
Don't worry, that everyone's looking at me all the time.
We will solve some technical issues in the room. We'll be resuming in a minute. Overheat projector, maybe. Yeah, this morning we were talking, the Dutch consultant was talking about safety feature and outages due to oversupply of heat or energy. Maybe this is the case of it. There is movement. You have a good technical support. It's resetting, I think. Nobody wants to go for lunch. That's a very difficult question. Stay with me or go for lunch? I'm not sure if I'm going to win that one.
Lunch goes for an hour.
Okay.
It goes for plus 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap up very quickly. Yes, we got a triangle.
So I have no idea why it switched off.
But you solved this, so thank you very much. So we go back to the third and last triangle I want to show, which is the cybersecurity and satellite, how satellite can deliver cybersecure communications. We talked about security and resiliency, and of course the third attribute is integrity. Data delivered by satellites have a high degree of integrity. It can be the delivery. There is delivery assurance of correct type of satellite communications. At the European Space Agency, we have a lot of program dealing with security, cybersecurity, with resiliency and integrity. One of them I just want to mention is a program called Skylight, which is a recently new program is launched to do with optical satellite communication or laser communication via satellite. Of course, this is a wide program which deals with all future type of laser communication, so ground to satellite, and satellite to satellite communication, inter-satellite link communication, as well as feeder link and user link communication, satellite communication via optical devices. But the important point I want to make here is that as part of this program, one important element is quantum cryptography and the way to deliver quantum key distribution via optical satellites. So this is very, very latest advances in security and cybersecurity to guarantee a cybersecure connection between 2 points on the Earth by distributing quantum keys over the satellite optical links. This is a step towards what people call quantum internet, where perhaps a little bit after 5G, internet will move towards terrestrially and over satellite to be delivered by optical links. So this is one of the programs that we manage, and we help European satellite industry to prepare for this type of security requirements. Okay, I think we have the same problem.
No,
Another problem.
I'm not seeing anything back.
Oh, it's back.
All right,
It was a different problem. Okay.
I think it's somewhere there in the cables. Just go on, don't worry.
Just go on.
Don't worry.
The show goes on. Okay. Okay, so this just brings all the three triangles together, and hopefully if you didn't get lost in the three triangles, I explored the three vertices of the satellite triangle, or the 5G triangle, and the cybersecurity triangle. So enough of triangles for today. The last couple of slides I have is what is ESA doing about 5G and satellite communications. We have set up what we call a 5G satellite initiative, or Satellite for 5G initiative, S for 5G. And the objective of this initiative is support the space industry, whether it's space manufacturers or satellite operators or satellite application provider, to deliver a 5G compliant solution via satellite. We are reaching out to the entire 5G terrestrial community to promote the awareness of satellite in the 5G larger ecosystem. So what we're doing here is that if here in the Baltic we have telcos, telecom, mobile network operators, or network vendors, or service provider, or application service provider, which are working in the field of 5G, we would like to talk to them, and we would like to explore ways by which satellite community can cooperate with industry here in the Balkan countries. We aimed at promoting a number of user trials and pilots in multiple vertical markets for 5G in integration with the terrestrial 5G community. Particularly in Europe, we work with the European Commission 5G PPP project, which is a private-public partnership between the European Commission and the 5G industry, European Industry Association, to deliver 5G in Europe by means of national, international, and global developments and pilot and field trials. And we'd like very much for satellite and the satellite community to be part of these global 5G trials. There is a website, which is our website, talking about the ESA Satellite for 5G initiative. But if you're interested, if you just Google ESA 5G, then it will come up with the right links to show what we are doing in the field of 5G and how we are promoting industries to include satellite in 5G trials. As part of the initial membership of this 5G, we publish what we call a 5G Satellite 5G joint statement. And our objective was to unify the satellite community and talk as one community when talking with 5G stakeholders and 5G counterparts. These are the current list of memberships within the ESA, European Space Agency Satellite for 5G initiative. As you can see, you might recognize some of the logos, some of the names. All the major satellite operators are present here, both the geostationary satellite, but also the upcoming non-geostationary satellite, the constellations of low Earth orbit satellites which are in the making or already been launched. Some of the companies shown there are also the major European, what we call prime industry, like Airbus and Thales Alenia Space, which are the biggest European builders of satellites, satellite manufacturers. And also we have a supporting association. We have the Global Business Forum, which was the previous speaker, as well as other network supplier and ground terminal, user terminal supplier. The joint statement is open to everybody, both to space and non-space. You can find it on our website if you Google ESA 5G. And every industry or company or service provider is welcome to endorse the joint statement. And if you're interested, then you'll find the right links on the ESA website. So last couple of slides. Is 5G important for the Baltic states? Yes, 5G is very important. In fact, the Nordic-Baltic Alliance signed its own manifesto this year, early in the year, and talks about 5G development strategy. And all the main vertical markets which I've been talking about during my speech are actually mentioned in the 5G Baltic development strategy as target to promote advanced mobile communication in Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, and other members of the Baltic Alliance, as it's called. In particular, in Estonia, the TeliaSonera and Ericsson, the major Ericsson network vendor, they're already going 5G, focusing on what they call Industry 4.0, e-society, and e-health, as Estonia is a big advocate of e-society. But equally goes for Lithuania, certainly here in Latvia as well. We have the two big mobile network operators working with network vendors to prepare to launch 5G trials or prepare to demonstrate the capability of forthcoming 5G everywhere. So our pledge here is that we want to work with all the industry here, network vendors, operators, MNOs, and indeed vertical market industry, to promote satellite and to make sure the satellite is and will be, remain to be an important part of the provision of 5G infrastructure here in Latvia and everywhere else in the Baltic states. This is our logo. It's called ESA Satellite for 5G Initiative. If you Google it, as I say, ESA 5G, you will find it. Otherwise, if you want to contact us, there is an email address, which is 5g@esa.int. For any information, if you would like to know more about our 5G joint statement, or indeed any information about our 5G program, please email the address, and we will reply as soon as possible. To wrap up, I hope I made it clear that satellite is important for 5G, and certainly 5G is very, very important for satellite. We believe that satellite will be a very important part of the delivery of successful advanced 5G communications now and in the future. I mentioned many times the website, so I won't repeat it again. The point I want to make is that we have set up an ESA 5G initiative to support all the satellite community and work alongside the terrestrial 5G community to deliver integrated 5G solutions. In particular, we're working with the European Commission, DG Connect, and the 5G PPP initiative, which has been set up by the European Commission to deliver 5G services. But we also work with other national and international fora globally working on 5G. Finally, if you had to remember anything about my speech, please remember one triangle and a circle. Triangle is the triangle between satellite, 5G, and cybersecurity. And the circle is our logo for the Satellite for 5G initiative. Thank you very much for your attention. I wish everybody a good lunch. Thank you.